Welcome, everyone. Please welcome David Pruente, Chief Strategy Officer of the KC Chamber, to the stage.
There it is. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning and welcome. We're so pleased to have you. I've got remarks. I'm going to read most of them. But before I get to them, I want to sort of just acknowledge you all, the audience, for dressing up on a Friday afternoon. Everybody but Greg Moore dressed up this morning. So thank you. Round of applause for everybody on a Friday morning. And a big special thank you to our chamber staff and the caterers this morning. The room looks beautiful and it's filled with very smiling, happy faces on a Friday morning. So round of applause for the chamber staff and our amazing catering team. As they said, my name is David Pruente, and we're so glad to have you with us for one of the most inspiring events we do each year. This is the Chamber's virtual Top 10 Small Business Panel Breakfast, and it's part of our Small Business Celebration. So thank you all for being here. Let's begin by giving a heartfelt congratulations to our 2025 Top 10 Small Business Celebration honorees. They're lined up over here. Let's give them a round of applause. It's an amazing group. This recognition represents more than just business success, whether it's the first time being honored for some of them, or they've been recognized before in the top 10. Their achievements reflect something much deeper: leadership that uplifts others, values that shape their company's culture and community, and a commitment to building a stronger and more dynamic Kansas City. Being named a top 10 small business means you're not just growing your bottom line, you're growing your people, your purpose, and your place. You're creating jobs, building relationships. You're contributing to the kind of region that we all want to live and work in. So thank you very much for what you're doing in our region. This morning, we'll get to hear directly from these visionary leaders, these businesses. We'll hear about their journeys, their lessons learned, their pivots made, and the purpose that keeps them moving forward. These candid conversations remind us that I'm near the end of my notes. They remind us that leadership comes in many forms and that success often starts with a strong sense of mission. I think they all have that in common as a top 10. But before we dive in, I wanted to extend a special thank you to our Small Business Celebration sponsors. Small Business Celebration presenting sponsor is Evergy. Met some good folks at Evergy, some really good friends at Evergy. So let's give them a round of applause. It's been a nice spring with low energy bills, so we appreciate that. Your continued partnership helps us elevate the stories of these incredible businesses, and we're deeply appreciative of your support. Now, I am to the end. I'm proud to introduce today's top 10 breakfast presenting sponsor, our friends at Landmark National Bank. Please join me in welcoming Abby Wendell, President and CEO, and Chief Lending Officer Jeff Phillips to the stage.
Thank you so much, David. And good morning, everyone. It is so nice to see so many familiar faces here this morning. I'm Abby Wendell, and on behalf of our team at Landmark National Bank, with colleagues here at the front table, congratulations in advance to all of our honorees. Before we introduce you to the top 10, I would also like to welcome and introduce Jeff Phillips, Chief Lending Officer and Kansas City Market President for Landmark. Jeff, along with one of our team leads, Sarah Parrish, who's here this morning, had the pleasure to go on the tour to visit all of the top 10 nominees and came back with amazing stories to tell. I mean, I think you're really going to be inspired by what you hear this morning. So as you'll hear from our nominees in just a moment, their stories represent perseverance and creativity and remind us why small businesses, especially in our community, matter so deeply. As leaders, I believe it's really important we take moments like this to reflect, show appreciation, and draw inspiration from those who are setting the standard. Each of you have demonstrated a willingness to take risks, the ability to adapt to change, and to demonstrate a real passion for excellence. Please join me in welcoming this year's outstanding class of small business nominees.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dulcinea Herrera, and I'm the CEO of Café Corazon, Kansas City's first Latin and Indigenous coffee shop and roastery.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Fugate, and I'm the CEO of Cenetric Network Services. We're an IT managed services provider for Kansas City businesses.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Karen Sturkovich, the president and chief handshaker of DMC Service, and we are a commercial heating, cooling, and plumbing service contractor.
Good morning. I'm Luis Padilla, owner and founder of Fresco Marketing. We are a full-service creative agency.
Good morning. My name is Mike Stradinger. I am CEO of Holland 1916. We're a manufacturer of nameplates, membrane switches, touchscreens, and displays located in North Kansas City.
Good morning. I am Brandy McCombs. I am the owner, president of IBC, which is responsible for all the orange cones on Main Street. So IBC Traffic, IBC Carpentry. We do high-end trim carpentry.
Good morning. I'm Joan Charbonneau. I'm the president and CEO of Perfect Promotions. We're a promotional merchandising company out of Lee Summit.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Amber Reed. I'm a therapist and the owner of Resolve Counseling and Wellness.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, all. My name is Leonard Graham. I'm president of Taliaferro Browne Consulting Engineers. We're a firm local here to Kansas City, practice in civil and structural engineering, landscape architecture, and surveying. My business partner, Haggis, is there in the audience. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Blair Tanner. I'm the owner and CEO of the Woodside Health Club. We're a luxury health and wellness club here in Kansas City.
Okay, so here you have them, the top 10 nominees for the Small Business of the Year Award. So we have a handful of questions designed to really showcase what makes them so special and why they're here today. So let's go ahead and get started. As companies grow and evolve, one of the biggest challenges leaders face is staying true to the company's identity while balancing core values with financial goals. As you have built your business, how do you make sure the day-to-day work stays aligned with the bigger vision? And let's start with Luis. Luis, could you talk a little bit about how you evaluate new opportunities that align with your vision?
Yeah. So, I think for me, it's about reminding myself and my team why we're doing what we're doing. And financial is not about hitting financial goals. And don't get me wrong, it's important, right? We're a business and we're for profit. Sometimes people believe that we are non for profit, but no, we're for profit. So, but it's more than that. What we do is to elevate, to uplift other businesses, organizations through marketing, messaging, branding, and I make sure that our mission is in the center in front of what we do. And if something doesn't feel authentic, we just don't force it. I think, chasing financial goals can be easy, but I came from Mexico not to chase money. I came from Mexico to do something more deeper than that. And I think that building a legacy is not just about money.
Amazing. Thank you. Joan, you serve a diverse range of clients. How does your business maintain its company identity?
We are, as a merchandising company, our vision for all of our clients is to be an extension of their brand team. Our goal is to be an asset, to be a partner with our clients. And that really differentiates us from any of our competitors. And how we go about the day-to-day business is I have an amazing team. Our team of people are just fantastic and believe in that vision. And it's been really fun to create and build that team and then partner with those clients and help build their brand, extend their brand message way past just a pen or a Post-it note, but really getting the right item in the hands of their clients. So the vision is really important for you to have success in the business or in the company.
Thank you. Amber, you at Resolve have a unique way of measuring growth. What are some of the ways that you do that?
Yeah, well, before I start, I'm wondering if you guys would be willing to help me out with something. Would you be willing to clap if you happen to have ever gone to therapy before, or if you happen to currently have a really great therapist? Awesome. Well, we've got a lot of emotionally intelligent people in the room, so I'm happy to hear that. Our mission at Resolve is reimagining mental health to reduce barriers and improve care. When I started Resolve, I was constantly asking myself that question: how are we removing the barriers? How are we improving care? When we started small, it was doing really simple things like answering the phone, having clinicians who were available on the weekends, you know. But as we grew, I continued to say that I wanted to meet that mission. And at one point, I decided we were not going to have a wait list. When I made that decision, I didn't realize at the time some of the implications. And one of those implications was that we were going to have to continue to grow to meet the needs of the community. There's an incredible need for mental health services in the Kansas City community. And so we have grown and grown and grown with our mission-aligned services. Last year alone, we saw over 38,000 appointments between our 3 locations. So as a leadership team, we're always asking ourselves, are we reducing those barriers? Are we improving care? If our answer is no, then we pivot. And if our answer is yes, then we move forward with confidence.
Thank you, Amber. Dulcinea,
Yes.
how do you balance ethical sourcing with the financial realities of running a business?
Absolutely. So first off, thank you so much. We're so grateful to be here with Café Corazon, representing our family and our community. And I think the answer to that question has to start with our goals. So our goals are the same as when we started. Our goal was to create a safe space where people of all cultures can come in and feel welcome. They can experience our culture and we can teach them about it. And it's also something that we wanted to disrupt the coffee industry. We wanted to go in and be very different and give people an experience that they've never had before. And we do that through all of our values and our ethical sourcing. So all of our merchandise, if you go to any of our locations, it's all local. All of our food, our pastries, either we make it or we source it locally. All of our coffee is ethically sourced. We have a lot of women-owned farms that we go to. And our employees are big liaisons of that. We train them that when someone walks in the door, they're very aware of our cultures and that they can teach them about it. It's very important to us. And we're involved in the community immensely. We do a lot of work with nonprofits. Actually, every single month, we're doing work with a different nonprofit. So we're making a difference in the community because the community that supports us, we support them back. That's a big thing for us. And our stats have shown that this works. So when we first started, I'll be honest with you guys, we didn't come from generational wealth. Me and my family, we started with nothing, but we bootstrapped everything. So if you go to our locations, the tables, the build out, that was all us that we built. The menus, down to the production, down to the training, down to the policies. We built that together. And now we're sitting 6 years later. We have 3 locations and a roastery warehouse. So I truly believe that when you give to your community, they will give back. Good energy gives good energy.
Wonderful. Thank you. Leonard, I understand you have a real focus on urban revitalization. Would you share a little bit more about that with us, please?
Sure. First of all, certainly appreciate being here and in the company of the other top 10 selectees. And so with respect to the work we do in the urban core, our firm is a little bit different from a number of engineering firms in the Kansas City area. We do almost no work in what's referred to as greenfield areas. You'll rarely see us going out and plowing over a cornfield to build a new development. Our work is almost exclusively in the urban core, in the gritty urban core, if you will, where we're taking a piece of land that may have been developed 2 or 3 times since it was originally forest or fallow land. And we enjoy the challenges of dealing with projects of that nature. And those projects have touched all segments of Kansas City. When we drive around this town, there's not very many places that we go that we can't see something that we have touched, including the renovation of this building that we're in here today. Kaufman Center downtown, well, one of our most recent ones was the improvements of the single terminal at KCI. We're the folks that were responsible for those roundabouts that you all hate. We were very happy to have participated in that project. It was a good project for us, a good project for city. And one of the things that we have pride in is building our home, and that home is Kansas City. And as I said, when we drive around the city, we can't go 2 blocks without seeing something that we have had a hand in. And we're very proud, excuse me, proud of having been able to have done that. And we certainly look forward to doing a whole lot more.
It's fantastic. Thank you. Well, you all shared how your vision really informs how you show up to other people. Let's shift and start talking about how that vision and values shows up to how you interact with your employees, how you develop them, also how you build a culture. So Amber, why don't I ask you first, you have several locations. How do you make sure that a culture is embraced by your team and how it's consistent across multiple locations?
Yeah, I think this is a lesson learned for me. Businesses, just because they scale, culture doesn't necessarily scale alongside it. When I opened my second location, I was still in the camp that I could do everything on my own. And when we opened our third location a few years later, just a few months after I had my 4th kid, it was really apparent that I couldn't do everything on my own. And that's when we decided to bring in our leadership team. So we brought on a phenomenal leadership team. Every site that we have has their own site lead. And then we have a clinical director that oversees everything, as well as community engagement director and a variety of other members of our team. All of these people are so mission aligned and driven, and they're also incredible clinicians. We do some of the fun things that you might expect with culture: summer barbecues, holiday parties, team building, all the fun things that come along with that. But also we invest very intentionally in the actual work that our clinicians do. So we have sponsored thousands of dollars of continuing education for our clinicians to keep improving the clinical work that they're doing. We have internal consultations and supervision. But overall, what I've learned is that culture isn't something that just happens. It takes a really, really dedicated leadership team who's willing to bring it to every location.
Thank you. Brandy, you all have really had to focus on this because in hearing your story, it was, and then we moved to this new location, and then we moved to this new location, and then we added this business line. So please tell us how you've kept culture consistent over all of that change.
Yeah. So what he's speaking of is we've outgrown 4 different facilities. First was in the Crossroads, and then we moved to the West Bottoms, outgrew it, built a building in Lee Summit, and then we outgrew it, and now we actually are all back together and back in the in the West Bottoms. So we have 8 acres down there and 2 different companies. However, it is challenging to find the culture that kind of spreads across to everybody. And we do a few things, right? We do the annual events. We provide financial support for various education and whatnot. But I think a lot of it is we make it their home, their second home. And I think everybody's kind of said the same thing. It's family. It is making sure that people feel included and they have a voice. And I think that's super important. And to communicate. Communication is big for us. We have gone out to our team and said, okay, look, we've tried everything. We want to make sure you're getting the information. Long story short, they came back with texting. So we're like, okay, let's figure out a platform where we can at least text out the information, and created an intranet where everybody can go get support at any given time, and a company store. So we have a company that we give high fives and money to them so they can actually go in and purchase merch that, let's be honest, I don't know what everybody likes to wear. So they go in and they order it, and it's kind of ironic, and it's really good. We have a couple people like every day, they must order something like all the time because that's all they wear to work, which is great. So that means we're doing something, we're making an impact. And I guess, like I said, it's just making sure that everybody feels included, and it's very important to be heard. And I think we have made a very, very long stride because it's been 16 years. I think we've done a very good job.
Good, thank you. One of the more difficult decisions that I think leaders have to make is around staffing. Changes to staffing, scaling up, other kinds of staffing decisions. Where have you had to make or contribute to such a decision? And specifically, what factors guided your approach? And how did you balance the business needs with the well-being of your team? And Karen, maybe you could kick us off talking about balancing on-demand service work with consistent staffing.
Yeah, so I like to start out to explain to people that while we are a company in the trades, we're proud HVAC and plumbers, we're not builders like Brandy, my friend. We are constantly changing our business levels based on the needs of our customers. Every new day is a new adventure. You could go to bed thinking the schedule's all set, everybody is in the places that they know where they're going tomorrow morning, and at 4 a.m. a water main breaks, and that is thrown out the window and you have to shift to a new plan. The first thing that we do, though, is when we onboard new customers and talk to them about our company and how we deliver, we explain to them that we work like an emergency room. And so we level set expectations up front so that they understand when they have the water main break emergency, the no AC, and it's 100 degrees, that we are doing everything in our power to get to those jobs. But if it's a leaky faucet, we may have to reschedule. And so it's a constant juggle. It's really fun and energizing and exciting. It can also be really frustrating. But the thing that I'm most proud of is that every time we have those days where we get 35 calls in one day, my team comes together and gets the job done. And I have a great example a few years ago. Maybe you guys remember it was Christmas. Christmas fell on a Saturday and it was Christmas Eve. So we were all off and we had one on-call guy per division. And the day before, the town had been shut down because hello, somebody is trying to get a hold of me. The town had been shut down because there was ice, there was snow, and the next morning we woke up and we had that scenario where we had almost 30 calls but I had one guy in each division. And the thing that just made me so incredibly proud is that every single one of my teammates kept coming out. They were technically off, but they showed up for their team members and they showed up for our customers. And that doesn't happen by accident. That happens by carefully choosing the people on our team, instilling in a strong culture of service, and then executing upon that.
That is so great. Service culture is everything, for sure. Blair, the pandemic presented a unique challenge to any in-person workplace. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you managed through that at Woodside.
Yeah, that was a fun time. So, Woodside is a health and fitness club, but we also touch on a number of other industries such as hospitality and food and drink. So we have restaurants and bars and tennis courts and pools and a day spa and all sorts of other types of facilities. And our club really becomes a second or third space for our members. So they're often coming to spend a lot of time and spend time with people, spend time at our facilities. And then, when the pandemic hit, it really just changed every aspect of our business. So not only were we closed down and out of business for a few months, but then when we opened back up, every element of our business was impacted. So we were dealing with constant changes of laws and regulations, constant changes of expectations in the marketplace, and we had to figure out a way to do everything that we normally have been doing for so long in a different way. And it felt like a very overwhelming problem. And so I think that, can you guys hear me? So I think that the way we got through that was I told our team that, we've got to focus on the things that we can control. You can get overwhelmed if you start trying to focus on everything. And particularly when you're faced with such a massive problem that could really put you out of business. So what we did was we came up with a list of our challenges, prioritized them, and then methodically just focused on one issue at a time each day and put one foot in front of the other and didn't get overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problem. Again, just focused on what we could control. And we ultimately came out of that much stronger. And I think it was because of the mindset. And everybody in the organization adopted that. I mean, there was a lot of panic in the beginning. But we calmed ourselves down and we said, listen, we can't control all of this madness out here. Let's just do what we can do. We got through it.
Great, thank you. And Brittany, we understand that any small business that faces a growth phase has unique challenges and opportunities. Maybe you could talk a little bit about your staffing approach during a recent growth phase for your business.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful to be here. So thank you. Yeah, Cenetric has been in a constant growth phase for the last 3 years. It's been a real challenge. The company dynamics, the scaling the culture, all of these have been very unique challenges for us. But luckily, I feel like I kind of have a shortcut here, but my team is full of problem solvers. So, they come up with great ideas. They have capabilities that they want to see if they can move up and try different things. And so a lot of what we have been doing is evaluating things like operational efficiency and processes and all those kind of areas. And so opportunities that we can match somebody with a skill set, that's always what we try to do is have a very candid conversation with somebody, let them know what we think their strengths are and hear what they think their strengths are and see if we can align some growth path with that. And so that's kind of been our way of handling that challenge over these really wild 3 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the things I think we all have in common is we don't have unlimited resources. So we have to choose where we invest those resources and specifically with where we invest them with our teams. So if that is focused on professional development or benefits some type of mentoring. Would love to hear from you all about where you've chosen to invest your resources and how that's helped with employee engagement and retention and even performance. So, Mike, I know you all have spent a lot of time focused on your benefits specifically.
We determined a long time ago that our success was going to be determined by how much and how well we engaged our employees. So we said, what's preventing them from being engaged? And so we first looked at benefits, and we try to offer gold-plated benefits. We benchmark ourselves against peer companies and just other companies in the city. And I think I know our employees pay $10 every paycheck for their health insurance. We give them a clinic that they can get in the next day. This is both because we think it's the right thing to do, but also it's a great way to make money. The less that they have to worry about their benefits, the less they have to worry about their health, the more they can focus on what they're doing during that day. After we get them there and they're not worried about other things, we also contribute to 401k, whether they do it or not, because we want to take that issue as much off the table as we possibly can as well. But now we have to equip them. If we give them, we're a manufacturing company, and so it's really important, if we expect them to do wonderful work, to give them wonderful equipment. And so we spend a lot of money after benefits on our CapEx side of our business. Then we can't expect people, a lot of people have never worked in manufacturing. We have to train them. So we spend a lot of time on training. And our training really is all over the board. It's on soft skills. It is on hard skills, because we also have a great group of problem solvers. You got to be able to collaborate, and you got to problem solve. That's sort of, no matter what business you're in, that's super important. So we send them off to schools. We also do a lot of internal training. And we also do a lot of online training that has proven to be very effective as well. So once we get them to that point, we've prepared them for today. But I don't know about your business, but our business is changing super rapidly. And so we have to prepare them for tomorrow. So we're doing a lot of training, preparing them for their next job, because we just know that we're not going to be doing things the same tomorrow as we are today. And then finally, the other thing we do is we focus a lot on communication, and we invest money there because they can't be successful if we don't communicate our vision. And the clearer we communicate our vision, the more they can work autonomously, at least within their own teams. Nobody works completely autonomously, but the more precise we can be as to what success looks like, the greater likelihood they're going to get there, and the more they're able to manage themselves. So that's how we invest.
That's great. Thank you. Joan, when we met your team, you have folks that represent all age groups, and you actually threw out the term co-mentoring. Would you share with us a little bit about that?
We are so blessed because we have an amazing team. And a few years ago, we were able to hire some really fantastic younger people, ladies in their mid-20s and early 30s. And honestly, the old dogs of the group thought, oh, we have so much to teach them, right? Like there's so much to learn. There's so much for us to give them. And wow, did we find out that we were the ones learning. And so we've created a mentoring program, Perfect Sync. Perfect Promotions has Perfect Sync. And so we sync with them, right? It's not that we're teaching them, they're teaching us. It's actually in sync together. And it's really worked fabulously. It kind of just evolved naturally, where we were good listeners, meaning the old dogs were good listeners when we were trying to train or teach somebody about a project or a prospect or how we were going to approach a specific project. We were better listeners on what their thoughts were and how they would approach it. And it was oh, right, that's a fantastic idea. So it evolved. And so now there's weekly meetings. We have status meetings and weekly meetings where they're leading the meetings. It's been really fantastic. And it's fantastic on both sides of the world, right? Because we were open to learning from a younger group, but they were so engaged and energized to give that insight and have the confidence to give that back. So it's been really fantastic and fun, and everybody across the board has really benefited from this. It's hard as a leader. I think we bring young, strong women into our group, and I know that they're not going to be with us in about 3 or 4 years because they're that good, and they're going to be working actually probably for one of your companies, not yet. But they're that good. We're a small company of 12 people, and so there's only so much that we're going to be able to offer them. They're going to be better than that and maybe be a client of ours one day. But that's exciting to be able to give them that, and it's exciting for us because those of us that will stay have learned so much and grown ourselves. So Perfect Sync has been a fantastic opportunity for us.
I love that idea of a talent pipeline out into the ecosystem of other businesses. That's so great. So let's stick on this idea of healthy workplace culture. You know, one of the critical components of this is to ensure equity and inclusion. How do you foster a culture where diverse voices are not only present, but are actively heard and valued? And I think, Luis, you at Fresco have a unique way of helping your clients reaching diverse audiences as well.
Yes. So I think because, you know, like I said, I'm an immigrant, so diversity and inclusion, like, it comes naturally, right? Like I think, you know, when I came to this country, I didn't think about it. It was just, you know, I thought that it was just something that everybody does and everybody accepts. And but it didn't click until I was coaching inner city kids soccer. And you know, when I was coaching this group of kids, 150 kids, I saw that talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. So now at Fresco, I built Fresco with the intention of being a platform for others. You know, we have an internship program where last year, I started 2 years ago, and the first year we only have 4 applications. Last year we have over 60. And for me, I did an internship with Sporting Kansas City. And when I did that internship, I decided to stay in Kansas City. You know, after I finished college, I was like, you know, I'm going to go back to Mexico and go with my family and stuff. But I did an internship, and that kind of like opened my eyes to what was possible, right? Like I was working in a first professional soccer teams, etc., new stadium, everything. And so now I want to give that opportunity to others, right? Like in the advertising industry, less than 10% is diverse. And I just think that, you know, giving the opportunity to these young students to be able to work in an agency, to be able to go to an office and do that can change what they do in the future, right? Take and empower them to take control of their future. But also, and what we do in Fresco, obviously, is very important, right? Like a diversity, and not only, I don't want my team to only feel welcome. I want my team to know that their opinion and their ideas is centered at what we do and the work that we do for our clients. And for me, like I said at the beginning, it wouldn't be authentic to do some project or to work in a campaign or whatever it is if I'm not projecting the ideas and the voices of all my team and different audiences.
Great. That's so great. I share that belief that great ideas come from anywhere. Leonard, minority business enterprises and women business enterprises are an important part of your subcontractor strategy. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Taliaferro Browne is a very good engineering firm with long history in Kansas City that just happens to be owned by 2 Black guys. Now, as a result of that, we have been classified as a minority business, but we have made a express goal of helping other businesses, particularly minority and women-owned businesses, when we have an opportunity to lead projects. We're big enough and old enough and respected enough in this city now that we lead efforts on many projects. We're going to be working on the new Nelson Gallery expansion. We're the only local firm in that team. We just completed the new CPKC Stadium. And earlier I mentioned our work on the landside civil engineering at Kansas City International Airport. We had one of the 4 major contracts for the airport. There was landside civil engineering, airside civil engineering, the parking garage, and the terminal. We had an opportunity at the beginning of that project to maybe be a subconsultant, or we decided, well, shoot, we can do that. And we competed against firms that were much larger than us, firms that were national in stature, and we won it. We won the project with a team of 8 minority and women-owned subconsultants that did portions of the work under our direction. Sometimes it was a little bit like herding cats, but we provided opportunities for others to showcase their talents and to become involved in an iconic project like that improvement. I just came through the airport just a couple of days ago, returning from a few days of vacation. And as I was driving around on some of the facility that we designed, we had responsibility for everything outside the terminal. Roads, streets, bridges, utilities, all of that stuff was under our design effort. But as I came out, I looked at all that stuff and I told my wife, yeah, we've done good, you know. And I'm very proud to say that we were able to take 8 firms with us. And so that was good for us. And even now, for projects that we go after where we're the lead consultant, we have a team of sub-consultants that we normally use. And in many cases, our team will be, if not 100% women and minority-owned companies, it'll be pretty dang close. And we don't do that because we're trying to make a point or anything. We're trying to get the work done, and we're trying to get the work done with people that we trust and that do good work and that can help us do things. And it just turns out that that team has a great percentage of women and minority-owned companies, and it's been very successful for us.
Well, I personally like the roundabout, so I would agree that your firm did a great job at the airport. So, Dulcinea, you talked earlier with us and shared about Café Corazon's cultural fluency. How does that create business opportunities for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as DEI, we are DEI. Our ownership team is Latin and Indigenous 100%. And then 2/3 of it is women owned. So we are DEI. And our employees, our staff, 80% of them are POC and part of the LGBTQIA+ community, which is big. Our staff also speaks 4 languages. So when you walk in there, they can speak to you in English, in Spanish, in Portuguese, or they can do sign language with you. So we train all of our staff to do sign language. So when our ASL customers come in, they feel very welcome. This is important to us. And we also want to hear them out. We want them to grow in the company. So every week we have a manager meeting and we sit down with all of them, see what they have to say, how we can grow, how we can be better. And we also give them growth opportunities. So you can move up in our company through design, our marketing, our management. As we continue to grow, there are going to be way more opportunities for them to do so. Something fun that we also do, shout out to our Instagram and our Facebook and our social medias. If you follow us on there, every month we do a spotlight on one of our baristas. super cute. You get to know about them. We want them to feel very important at the workspace. And something we also do is we offer our space to our employees. So if you've been to our First Fridays at our Crossroads location, recently we just had an art show with 2 of our baristas and they got to sell their work there. We want to offer everything we absolutely can to our employees because we believe if you give to them, they'll always give back to you, right? We feel that in our hearts. And something we also get to do, which is really cool, is I'm going to give you guys a stat. So I work in the service industry. Service jobs typically last between 6 months to a year. Our baristas stay with us on average 2+ years, and our management team has been with us since the beginning. They've never left. So I feel like that in itself shows that we care about our culture, we care about our people, and the community sees that, they feel that. Because our baristas and our employees, they're happy. So when you walk in, you feel that happiness. You feel the welcome. You feel exactly what the purpose and the mission of our company is.
Thank you. You know, I think we all come to some understanding that we have these initiatives and efforts that we want to put forth in our organizations, and it can't just be your leadership that does that, that has to come through other folks on your team. Blair, would you mind maybe sharing with us maybe the realization that working out next to each other actually creates continuity between your teammates and helps spur ideas?
Wait, can you say that again about working out?
Yeah, that's it sounded like you actually had the opportunity where you all did some things together as teams, and that helped to bridge relationships and increase communication as you tried to launch certain initiatives within the company.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Woodside's actually a collection of small businesses. We've got a variety of different departments that have their own P&Ls. But, you know, for us, it's really important that the vision for the company, you know, comes from the top, and we are clear about our vision and we communicate it effectively. One of the ways that we make sure that that vision gets carried out through our company and embraced by all of our employees is, you know, first, annually, our C-suite and our management teams meet to discuss priorities and goals for the year. But then that's one thing. You also have to make sure that those goals and priorities get executed properly. So we have a series of strategic business reviews throughout the year where we meet with our department heads to discuss and to reinforce our goals, to evaluate how things are going, to review key performance indicators and other metrics, and then to discuss whether we need to pivot in any certain way. And our goal is really to empower, you know, our directors to run their businesses. That, and then just one other thing that we really try to get across to everybody at our company is that it's okay to fail. You know, so we are constantly trying to innovate, and we're taking chances, and we're doing things that maybe haven't been done before. But you know, it's important in that environment to let people realize that if you're going to try something, you're not always going to win, or you're not always going to succeed, and that's okay. And so that's how we do it in our company.
That's great. Thanks. Brandy, in your industry, you have a lot of small teams. And so really the leadership of those teams is really incumbent on the foreman in a lot of those cases. How have you empowered folks to lead their respective teams?
So we've just recently, first off, I'll go backwards. We try to lead from the bottom down, or the bottom up, meaning everybody's voices is the same. Doesn't matter who you are in the company. I always joke, my team is like, titles to me, I mean, you can call me the president of the janitor's president. I mean, I don't care. So to me, titles are, you know, as hierarchy, we understand what they're there for. But my leaders are actually our field guys, and they are the ones that actually are going to take this into the next level, because I don't do the work. They're the team that actually people actually see the most. They're out there, the ones on the road, and do the job. So it's empowering them to do it. and giving them the resources that they need. So we have a leadership coaching now. So we provide assistance in all the different things that they want to be involved in. We also do like wellness reimbursements and but the leadership programs of their choice, we give them options. We are union by trade, so we advocate for them to go to school to be able to lead their individual teams better. But I think mostly I would say is we let them have a voice no matter what position they are in the whole entire company, because we wouldn't be where we are without those guys.
Thank you. Mike, I've been on a tour of your facility a couple of times, and each time it started with, if you see us doing something silly or inefficient, would you please let us know, because we're trying to get better. How have you generated that kind of expectation or just attitude amongst every employee that's on the line?
I'm just good at hiring. I work with some fantastic people. Two are back there, Bob McCarthy and Charlie Toll. They each run a business segment for us. It starts with hiring, but then we can't anticipate every decision that people are going to be faced with. So we said, what can we do to ensure that when they are faced with a decision, they would make a decision that we would be super comfortable with? And we said, all right, we have to tell them where we're heading. So that's how we talk about success, and we talk about individual success, departmental success, and in our segment success. And so they know where we'd like to end up. But the second thing is we give them our values filter, and we say, listen, it's respect for the individual. It is continuous improvement. It is accountability, openness, and giving back. Those have been the same values that we've had for about 20 years. But whatever decision that you're faced with, figure out where we want to go, run them through that, and then we will be comfortable with your decision. It's worked quite well. We've been lucky.
So supporting your associates is just one part of running a business. And there are a lot of other real challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk about some of the tougher moments of running your business. How are you approaching the hurdles ahead? And what does that mean for your future path? And we'll start this one with Brandy at IBC. It's no secret that supply chain issues have been in the press a lot lately. How is IBC responding?
We are working alongside of our customers and making sure that we are advocating for all teams involved, and just being a partner. And communication, again, it all go back to a lot of the communications and making sure that we are all talking about what's going on and offering up opportunities and answers, not just coming up with the problem, but also having answers to the questions and helping as a team versus just on a silo.
Great. Joan, at Perfect Promotions, how have you navigated some of these tougher issues?
It comes down to the team, right? If you have a really fantastic team, then you can kind of navigate through almost anything. We've made it through COVID, right? And now we're in tariff world. So you can't plan for these things. You just have to make sure that you have the right people around you that can really support and work together and come up with those answers. It is communication. It is empowering your people to make the right choices and decisions. I have a fantastic leadership team. As I mentioned before, we're a small company of 12. There's 3 of us that get together weekly now because there is so much change happening right now in our world. A lot of the merchandise that we purchase is from overseas. And I'd love to tell you that we saw this coming. We anticipated this, like I think a lot of us thought this might come. So we have been working for months and months on that shift, but it comes down to communication with our clients. It's being honest. We don't know if anybody's watching the news. No one really knows what that price is. Yeah. So it's about being honest and communication and being problem solving. Our team meets all of the time. We've anything that's going on. We have specific goals by quarter, but those get thrown out the window when a wrench like this gets thrown into your face. So it's about the team. It's about building a team that you can trust, that you know that they're going to be making the right decisions, empowering them. And if you have secrets to hiring, let us all know, please.
Mike is the guy, evidently. Blair, at Woodside, I imagine your members' needs are changing in this post-pandemic environment. Could you speak to how you are best meeting those changing needs?
The needs of our members. Well, things have really come back strong. We're all about providing a sense of community for our members. And, when the pandemic hit, everyone had to be separated and couldn't come within 6 feet of each other. And we had to, get rid of our events department and change a lot about the core of who we really were. But, it was obvious that once the pandemic really lifted, how bad people wanted to get back into a place and have that community and be back in a physical environment that's inspiring to them around people and around programs. So, we just really leaned right back into that, so besides that, there's just all sorts of health and wellness trends in our industry that we're tracking and trying to get out in front of. So we just are constantly doing research on what's going on in the industries around the world. We try to bring new things and new concepts to our members, and typically the members here in Kansas City in the Midwest embrace the same kind of trends and the same kind of interests that people are really interested in all over the world. So
Great. Thank you. I think after today, we may all now have a new favorite coffee spot, but it is a crowded marketplace in the food and beverage industry. How do you differentiate and maintain your cultural authenticity?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very true to our culture. We don't falter. We don't do anything based on trends. We honor our ancestry. It's bigger than us. It's our people. And it's also welcoming people in, right? And we've faced challenges through that as well. Actually, I'll speak of two, just because that's been a big thing for us. Our first challenge, in all honesty, guys, it's been racism. And I'll give you an example. When we first started Café Corazon, we had an airtight business plan. And we looked for a year to find a building. But every time we'd bring up that it was a Latin coffee shop, people would just kind of look the other way. The only reason Café Corazon was born is because one day someone happened to drive a car through a building and demolish it. And my dad, say hi, Papa, he's over there. My dad, being a handyman, he walked by and he went up to the owner. He said, I can fix that. So we started that based on, family, based on just like bootstrapping it up together. And since then, we've had people come into the shop and harass our employees, our customers. They've told us, go back to your country. They've said things like, you can't speak Spanish here in our own establishment, right? So I think the lesson in that is that we honor what we do. We want to be different. Even if things like that happen, we have things in place to keep our staff safe. We have lawyers we call, all those good things. And then number two, a challenge we face a lot is access to financial resources. Like I said before, we didn't come from generational wealth. Everything we have, we've built. So we just had to bootstrap it again. But I truly believe that if you want something, you'll make it work. And that's why we're so ethical in our business, is because we understand the underdog and we want to give back to those who are less fortunate, right? But now that we're in a platform where we can help, we want to help. So that's where we're very different than most, I think, other coffee shops. Although other coffee shops are wonderful, I'm not saying, okay?
But we may now have a new favorite.
Gotta hype us up a little bit.
Thank you. Brittany, can you talk about at Cenetric how you build culture beyond geography?
Yeah, so Cenetric is has kind of a unique business model. in a lot of different places. We support clients nationally. Predominantly, we do business with Kansas City based, but some of those Kansas City locations have other locations across the United States. So we're supporting Hawaii and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And so we're dispatching kind of all over the place. In addition to that, we have a help desk that's all remote. And so we're taking about 150 calls a day. And then, we're working tickets. We're dispatching out to the field to solve problems. We are doing a lot of different things. And with a team that is small and in different locations, we have to be very intentional about how we bring them together to feel like a whole team. And Zoom just doesn't cut it. Teams doesn't cut it. So we do a lot of things to keep them in the mix. So one of the things that we invested in recently was customer service training, and that was for the whole of the company. We also did individualized, personal training on any kind of topic that they wanted to improve on, anything that they thought that would improve and help their career. So we brought Dr. Susan Harrison, who's in the back, in to help with that. And she met with every person on the team. When we have pizza parties, even the remote staff, we have kind of a fun thing we do. We send them, since they can't be part of the pizza party, we send them money so that they can go buy pizza. And then we have little contests about who can post the picture of the most unique and interesting pizza. So we do a lot of things that just really make sure that everybody on the team feels valued and feels like part of Cenetric as a whole.
Well, we have time for just one more question. So thank you for that, Brittany. These challenges are constant, and they often open the door to new ideas and innovation that benefit both the business and the community in which you operate. Karen, wondering if you could share an example of a specific initiative in your business that you developed within the community, and what impact has it had on your business and the community? And then lastly, what advice would you give to other business owners looking to build similar relationships?
Well, thank you for this question. When I purchased the remaining shares of DMC Service 10 years ago, one thing that I was really committed to as now the 100% owner was making sure that we infused in our culture a spirit of giving back. And we started with a baby step. We came up with a Diamond Day of Service, which meant that everybody on my team gets paid to volunteer together, to use our talents, because every nonprofit has plumbing or HVAC needs. And generally speaking, if you're in the trades, you're also very handy. You can swing a hammer, etc. And so we reached out to families and nonprofits and said, hey, we have a team of people that want to come give to you for free all the materials, all of the labor to fix whatever it is you need fixed. And we've been blessed to work and partner with amazing nonprofits in Kansas City like Veterans Community Project and a Turning Point and Habitat and Rainbow School, where we were able to go in, and this sounds like something basic, but Rainbow School had a toddler room where they didn't have a sink, which meant by the state of Missouri, they could not change diapers in that room. Think about that. You can't change diapers in your toddler room. So we were able to go in and install a sink. It's little ways that we can make a difference that really brings our team together, because it is a team building. It's fun to go together and serve together. But overall, that has increased and spiraled where we do a little bit more than a Diamond Day of Service. And I founded a nonprofit that I'm really proud of called Strong Homes, Strong Families that provides zero-cost critical repairs to homeowners in need. In its entirety, we may be a small company of 22 people, but last year we gave the equivalent of 38% of our after-tax profits to charitable causes. And so my advice to any small business owner out there is you don't have to give 38% of your after-tax profits. That's a little on the high side. Some people might say it's extra, but I just love to give and I can't say no. But what you can do is something. If you can't give a whole day, give half a day. If you can't give half a day, give an hour. Partner with other agencies to leverage your unique talents and skills to be able to make a difference. And that does snowball and it builds. And the next thing you know, you might be giving 38% of your after-tax profits.
Well, thank you all very much for giving us insights. It was really a wonderful conversation, and we thank you very much for that.
I think what truly stood out is that while your experiences are so diverse, they're all rooted in authenticity and your long-term vision.
So the fact that you were candid with us and shared your wisdom, really in visiting with each of you on site and then hearing your answers here today, I've been reminded about how you all have really excelled in the area of connectedness, how you're connected with your customers, obviously, and with your community, but how you are also connected with your team and are rallying around a vision and the values that you have, and then the impact that that ultimately has on them as well as your community. So really do appreciate it. It's been a privilege to get to know you, and from all of us at Landmark, we'd like to wish you congratulations and good luck. And we look forward to being your biggest cheerleaders as you continue on to be hugely successful. We do have another event that is coming up, which is where we will announce the Small Business of the Year, as well as some of the Chamber's specialty awards. Those will be announced on Tuesday, June 17th at the Small Business Celebration Awards Luncheon, which is at the Sheraton in Crown Center. I already have my ticket. If you don't have your ticket, you can get them at kcchamber.com.
And I hope today's conversation inspires all of us to reflect on the unique strengths that these businesses bring to our community. I'd also like to thank the Kansas City Chamber of Commerce for recognizing the importance of celebrating the achievements of these businesses. The Chamber not only celebrates individual success, but they are championing the role that small businesses play, not just as profit makers, but as change makers and catalysts. Thank you all for coming today.